Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. DSP tries it, just so everyone knows what it is coming up. Because if you can believe it, we're already at 6 out of 10 goals hit. Yeah, I know. Doesn't feel like it, but we are. That's how much support I've been getting recently, and I really appreciate that. So in 4 short goals, we are doing DSP tries it, the return to Indian cuisine. I have not actually had Indian cuisine in any content like this in over 3 years, okay? Previously, I've had some curries. I've had biryani rice, stuff like that. This time around, I will see what else they have and get some stuff. I don't know what I want to get. I actually don't know. I'll have to look at the menu or whatever I'm going to order and maybe get a few unique different things. But I don't know. You know, should I get lamb? Should I get goat? They actually have goat at Indian restaurants usually. Or should I just get something vegetarian because they have really great vegetarian stuff there too. Curries, samosas, all kinds of stuff. So that's going to be fun. Something different, not fast food, thankfully. I need a break from fast food after the last couple. Remember, the Taco Bell one was atrocious. The Popeyes one was completely wrong. I need a break. Okay? So it should be pretty fun. And that's coming this week, obviously, with 4 more goals to hit. And I'm still here 5 more days. That's right. Monday through Friday, I am here. Saturday is my next day off. So we're definitely going to hit it during the course of this week. It's just a matter of when. It could be any day. Literally right now, if I receive 4 goals, $600 of support, we will do DSP Tries It Indian Food on this stream. We can do it whenever you want. So the sooner the better. Please start supporting. Let's get some support rolling in. I'll start shouting it out. We'll start counting down, and we'll get some Indian food in this gullet as soon as possible. Let's go. By the way, how's everyone this morning? Let's say hello. What's going on to everyone? Who do we got? It's exactly right. Original Grant says, hey, just 60,000 kicks till the next goal. That's right. Anyone over on Kick, if anyone just wants to drop a small contribution of 60,000 kicks right now, we'll do DSP Tries It this very stream. That's all we need, 60,000. So let's get it going. Let's go. Oh, so for the record also, thankfully, today it is cloudy and wet outside. The temperature is only in the 60s Fahrenheit. And because of this, it is 81 degrees in my office. That's not bad. Typically on a normal day, even with the air conditioner on, I'd have it set to around 75. So 81 is not that bad. I got my fans blowing, so it's actually pretty nice in here today. And it's supposed to be like this for most of the week. I think it's going to get a little bit warmer on Friday again, but it should be several days of cool weather. Autumn is here. The best streaming season of the year. The best gaming season of the year, really. Like, this is just the best time of the year for us because we get nice, cool weather, and that's the time to game. Good stuff. All right. So, can we get some support rolling for today's show? Can we get some subs on Kick? Can we get some super chats on YouTube? Can we get our first tip of the day? Our first membership of the day? Can we get something? Right now, we got nothing. Let's get it rolling. Let's get some momentum going, shall we? Get some shout-outs going. And then we got one major story to talk about today. Wow, nothing. Okay, nothing. No support whatsoever. Great. So I resumed my workouts last night. I had them on pause for a little under a week because my right arm had been killing me. Like I said, I had hurt my right arm, probably hyperextension. I don't think it was from working out. I think it was from I went to the garbage dump and had a ton of problems with pain and everything. I couldn't actually have my arm go all the way in or out, and it was just painful. It's still painful, but I was like, dude, how long am I going to go not working out? I have to get back into it. So last night I basically did legs, shoulders, back, and traps. Yeah. Yep. That's what I did. So I did have to lift weights, but I wasn't like actually like straining any of the arm muscle here or anything. And it was fine. It actually felt a little better. Actually, I did. After I did, I was like, oh, that's good. So now tonight I alternate. I go back to my arms and chest and sit-ups. I got to do a lot of sit-ups tonight. I haven't done them now for a while. Anyway, so good stuff. Good stuff. I'm getting back into it. Everyone's a buzz about it. I don't know why.
Spinning bird kick.
It's not a big deal. I mean, basically because I've been an unhealthy guy on stream for a long time, and now I'm finally starting to get healthy. People freak out. You know, again, it's what's the weird thing that we know about Phil now that really doesn't affect anything, but we have to hyperfixate on it. Oh, he's working out now. Okay, well, go ahead. Big Boss did a $2 super chat. What are some of your favorite Pumping Iron music tracks? I'm not listening to a set soundtrack. Like I said, I listen to various different like internet radio stations on YouTube. And so I listen to a lot of like classic gaming music and stuff like that. And I just let it play while I'm working out. So nothing crazy. No, I don't have like a set soundtrack of artists that I listen to or anything like that. Do I have a home gym? Hold on. Do I have a home gym or do I go to the gym? No, I have not necessarily a home gym. I have a weight bench and I have free weight dumbbells, adjustable weight dumbbells. That's what I'm using right now. And it's a good start. It's the problem is I just don't have a ton of space. What I want to do is eventually clear out some of the stuff in the house to make an actual dedicated like room or space to do it. Right now, it's kind of like half shared with storage and shit. So I can do it, but I can't do everything. It's like I was telling you guys, I can't even do this exercise like this. I can't. There's no room. I can't even do that. What is this called when you do this exercise for your chest? Is it the flies or something like that? I can't even do it. I don't have space. I hit the wall. So I need to clear out my house a little bit more. That'll be a while. But I have enough room to do the basic stuff I want to do. So there you go. All right, thanks for the early support. As more support comes in, I will shout it out. Please, let's get some momentum going. We absolutely got to crush the goal today. Why? Last night, if you can believe it, for the conclusion of Chronos, we missed the goal. Not by a lot. We missed it by like $30. It's like, why did we miss it? It's frustrating because, you know, you want to be consistent. You want to be hitting a goal all the time so we can do DSP tries it and get ideas going and stuff. And we miss it by a little. It's like it's not the end of the world to miss the goal by so little, but it just sucks that we did when we're right there and we could have hit another one. So today we absolutely must hit this goal on this stream. Let's hit the goal, all right, and get that momentum flowing towards DSP tries it. Fair enough? Cool. All right. So, folks, I got a hypothetical for you. All right, you ready for this? I want everyone to just clear your mind for a sec, all right? And then I want you to imagine a certain scenario, all right? So, you're living in an apartment, okay? And you've lived there for a while. You like the apartment. All your stuff is there, right? Your family's settled in. You really like your living situation. One day you get a knock on your door, okay? You open your door, and standing on your front doorstep, there's someone from your government. Says, right, they got the badge, they got the certification. It's a government agent. And the government agent says, I'm sorry, sir or madam. I have some bad news for you. The government has decided that we want you to move because we're going to knock down where you live. We're going to actually build a building here. We don't want it to be residential anymore. We actually want this to become government use. So you're out. Here's money for first month's rent of your next place. Get the hell out. And you're like, wait, what? What are you talking about? I love this apartment. I have a lease agreement. I don't know. Get out right now. We're the government. We tell you what to do. We gave you your first month's rent. Get the hell out and go get another place right now. But what about the cost of moving? What about displacing my family? What about the fact that I live near my job? We don't care. Go now or go to jail. So you actually have to move. So you you grab all your stuff. Your family starts packing. You're getting all this stuff ready, all right, for this move because you're being forced out of your place. And you're frustrated. You're very upset. You're like, this sucks. You go online and you decide to vent. You go on to X, you go on to Blue Sky, or you make a video on TikTok and you say, man, this really sucks. The government's kicking me out of my place. I don't know who they think they are. How dare they? You know, I think that things should be different. I actually think that things would be better if the government was completely different and the people who were in charge weren't in charge. So now you're packing up. You're about ready to move. You hear a knock at your door. You open the door. It's the police. Sorry, sir, is this you? And they play the video that you just posted on TikTok. They show you the post that you made on social media, criticizing the government for doing what they're doing to you. And you say, yeah, that's obviously me. I'm not going to lie. You know, I was kind of mad because you're throwing me out of my place, but, you know, I just wanted to get my emotions out there. Okay, sir, you're under arrest. Come with us. Wait, what? You're under arrest. Put the cuffs on, grab you, throw you in a car, drive you down to jail, throw you in a cell. What the hell just happened? I'm under arrest? So now you're sitting and rotting in a jail cell for 2 weeks. No one talks to you. You're not able to talk to your family. You're not able to talk to your friends. You got no connection with the outside world. You're literally just sitting there rotting in a jail cell. Like you committed mass murder. All of a sudden, you get told, all right, it's time for your trial. My trial? My what? So now they march you into a room, and there's a panel of people you've never seen before sitting there, and they start reading out the things that you said on social media. Says here, you think that the government shouldn't be in power. Really? That's interesting. So were you planning to overthrow the government? How many more people are involved in this with you? You know, we just don't feel like this is a safe situation because you're a terrorist. What? Well, we'd like to just let you know you're now going to live in prison for the rest of your life. And that's the end of your story. So I just want you to think about that whole thing, that situation that I just told you. All right? Now, that sounds like fantasy, doesn't it? Especially for any of us who live like in the United States or the UK or Canada or, you know, any of these countries where you have basic rights. You have the reasoning. You know what I'm saying? Of having like, oh, I have the right to freedom. I have the right to, stand by trial by jury, innocent until proven guilty. I have the right to own land. I have the right to have an agreement, a legal agreement where I can be protected and not get thrown out of where I live. You know what I'm saying? So all that stuff, right? Ladies and gentlemen, the situation I just described to you is literally how it is for some people in Saudi Arabia. That's what it's like to live in other parts of the world that isn't considered the Western world. You understand? I didn't exaggerate. I actually gave you a real life situation that can happen if you live over there. Okay? What we don't realize is that we live in one of the most free, how can I say, human rights rich parts of civilization. We really do. When you see these people who go on social media day in, day out, and they whine and complain about things. Oh, I was told at work today I have to start wearing a uniform to go to work. Oh, that's it. Strike. We're not going to work. We have to wear uniforms to work. Oh, no. Did you hear that they're raising the prices of something? Did you hear that they're not going to do this minute little thing anymore? Right? All these things that you see people whining about constantly on the internet. You have to look at those situations and you have to say, so basically, you don't have any kind of actual like stress, any kind of like adversity in your life. So you seek out and find the most stupid little shit to complain about. How about instead of whining about your personal little situation, which is so infinitesimally just not fucking important in the scheme of things, how about you look about how things are on the other side of the planet? People who live in China, people who live in Russia, people who live in Saudi Arabia, Middle East. Why don't you look at how they have to live? And then all of a sudden, your tiny little problems won't really matter anymore in the big scheme of things. Okay? So you might say, why on earth is Phil talking about this morning? What in the holy hell is this? Is this DS politics again? No, it's not. This is very much the Level 1 podcast. And the reason that I'm bringing this up today is because there has been a huge deal that just happened in the realm of video games. EA, Electronic Arts. This is a publisher that has been around forever. I remember back in the day, you could buy games that Electronic Arts made on the NES, the Super NES, the Sega Genesis, sports games like the Madden franchise. They used to have FIFA, but now I guess it's like some other thing because they lost the licensing. Huge sports titles. But also, there's so many different game companies under the umbrella of EA, notably BioWare, that makes Mass Effect and is currently working on making a new Mass Effect and stuff like that. EA has actually been bought out, okay? One major company and or the biggest stakeholder in this deal is Saudi Arabia. $55 billion buyout. Yes, EA will no longer be a public company that is held by stockholders and traded on the stock market. It will now be privately owned. It's a couple investment firms involved, and notably the biggest one with the biggest stake is a Saudi Arabian investment firm. Now, if you've been following news recently, you may have heard some other things that Saudi Arabia has been involved in, okay? Notably, the WWE just made a huge announcement that a future WrestleMania will take place in Saudi Arabia. That's unprecedented. Yes, WWE has had other events before in Saudi Arabia. For example, they had the Greatest Royal Rumble and things like that, but never have they actually had one of their giant flagship pay-per-view events there. Now, when they've done these events in Saudi Arabia before, they had to completely change everything. The women literally had to wrestle in body suits because in Saudi Arabia, it's illegal for women to actually have their skin exposed in public to a certain extent. So when the wrestlers went to wrestle, they actually had to look like Power Rangers in the ring. I'm not exaggerating or kidding. This is absolutely positively true. Okay? Another thing that just happened that you may not have gotten wind of, Evo. You know Evo Fighting Game Championships? The tournament series that was known as the big one, the biggest in the world, the one that everyone who wanted to compete competitively in fighting games in would go to. That was known as like the World Finals, the big event, the Super Bowl, the World Series, the World Cup of fighting games. It just got bought out by Saudi Arabia. Completely. They own the whole thing. So you might be saying, what is going on? Why is Saudi Arabia buying out all of this kind of pop culture stuff? WWE fighting games, now a major video game company. What are they doing? It's very simple. Saudi Arabia is in the midst of trying to rejuvenate their image on the world stage. What does that mean? Well, Saudi Arabia is insanely rich. If you're not aware, Saudi Arabia is likely the highest concentration of wealth on the planet. Now, it can't be proven, and the reason it can't be proven is because Saudi Arabia doesn't actually want anyone to know how much money they have. Did you ever go to those like Forbes most rich people on the planet lists, and they always say, oh, it's Elon Musk is number one? Ladies and gentlemen, Elon Musk is not the richest person on earth. Not even close. Because when they list those lists, they don't actually show the richest people. They show the richest people who are public, who allow their wealth to be shown to the world. But the Saudi Arabian oil barons, the giant influential European families that have been around for like hundreds and hundreds of years, they're never listed. These are actually the most powerful, richest, most influential people on the planet, and you will never know it because they don't want anyone talking about it. And if anyone were to talk about it, like let's say, for example, let's say Forbes actually listed this oil baron as the richest dude on the planet, all of a sudden, mysteriously, Forbes would say, oh, half our sponsors just got pulled. What? Yeah, oh, we have no more sponsors, no more advertisements. We just lost all our funding, so we're going out of business. That's how powerful these people are, okay? And even in truth, this is the truth about it, even a lot of people right now who are content creators, big ones who are getting the deals, the sponsorships, the partnerships, the big money, right? If they were to talk like I'm talking right now, they would get a phone call from their talent agency or agent, be like, just so you know, you just got dropped by everything. Yeah, you're on your own now. It's the truth. That's how crazy our world is, but no one really talks about it. Everyone's, we just let you know. So when you hear about this stuff, you're like, what the hell? So the reason Saudi Arabia is doing this is because they are trying to rejuvenate their image on the world stage. Right now, you don't hear about Saudi Arabia much at all. And if you do, you just think it's those guys who have all the oil, right? So what they want to do is now they want to be known as pop culture icons and gurus. They want to have athletes under their wing doing events for them. They want to be the ones to organize a competitive event for video games so that kids and young people are into it. And, oh, wow, Saudi Arabia, wow, they're really hip. They got their finger on the pulse of what's cool, right? In reality, Saudi Arabia just wants to get involved in everything. They want to have control. They have control of the world economy because of oil. And as long as oil is still a natural resource that we all depend upon for fuel, we're always going to have to kind of bend the knee to them. Because at any moment, we're just not going to sell oil to you anymore. So what do we do now? Now I can't drive my car? Now I can't heat my house? And the answer is no. They actually have that level of control. Okay? So now they're now trying to venture out into other things. Let's get our hooks into other things, right? Now, here's the thing. The situation I just described, getting thrown out of your house and being told you got to live somewhere else, and then you're upset with that situation, so you complain about it on social media and you go to jail for it for the rest of your life. That has happened in Saudi Arabia. It is documented. This is not, I made up a hypothetical that's kind of ridiculous and outlandish. That happens in Saudi Arabia. Okay? So if you live there at any moment, you've got to be very worried about anything that you say and do. That's just how their government is. Okay? So the crazy part about all of it is, you might say, well, wait a minute. If Saudi Arabia actually has such horrendous human rights that anyone could just be upended, thrown out of their home, the government can do whatever they want, people are executed. Yes, I'm not kidding. Executed for literally speaking out against the government. Imagine that. Imagine you made a mean tweet about former President Joe Biden or current President Donald Trump, and someone came to your house, arrested you, and then you were publicly executed for it. That's happened in Saudi Arabia. All right? So, why on earth would any of these companies want to do business with Saudi Arabia? Why would WWE want to have several events and now WrestleMania, their biggest event of the year, why would they want to hold this in Saudi Arabia? Why would EVO, the World Championship Series that was always known as everyone is welcome, anyone can participate, absolutely no limitations, come on and show your game, just prove that you're good. Why would they get bought out by Saudi Arabia or sell out to Saudi Arabia? Why would EA, a company that, I'm not kidding, has recently been known for liberal policies? Take a look at Dragon Age Veilguard, where there was an actual plot line about a trans character, someone misgendering them, and then having to self-discipline and punish themselves for getting the gender wrong. Okay? This is not a joke. That was actually in the game. It was a big controversial thing, right? And that's published by EA. Why would EA be getting bought out by a company where in that native country of Saudi Arabia, LGBT is a crime? You hear what I said, right? Yes, in Saudi Arabia, you're not allowed to be LGBT. It's illegal. You go to jail if you get found out. So, what's the answer here to all this? Why are all these companies getting involved with Saudi Arabia? Well, folks, there is an answer, and the answer is very simple. Now, no, I didn't just hit a goal, but the answer is money. These companies are all receiving absolutely insane amounts of money over the value of what you would even receive. $55 billion to purchase Electronic Arts. That's $5 billion more than the estimate that they gave of what the company should be valued at. They paid them a premium to purchase the company. Okay? I can just imagine the amount of money that a company like WWE is receiving. All right? And again, you might say, well, I don't get it. Saudi Arabia is overpaying. Why? Because they know that in the eyes of the world, they are morally wrong. The world does not like how they do things in their country in regards to human rights. So they know the only thing they can do is to pay their way out of it. And people are greedy and weak enough to say, I'll turn a blind eye to all this shit so I can get rich. It's that simple. Okay? So in this story today, that EA is getting bought out by Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of conflicting views and things. Some people are saying things like, well, this is awful. Now, what about game franchises like The Sims? So The Sims is owned by EA. The Sims has always been a franchise where you can kind of do whatever you want. And so it actually has been a franchise and a game IP that has been very, very friendly with the LGBT community. You can be gay in the game. You can be trans in the game. You can have crazy stuff in the game. And people will simulate these situations in the game. There's a whole community around it. People on social media who post up and talk about this kind of stuff, right? Well, now they're owned by EA. So does that mean moving forward, now they're owned by Saudi Arabia. Does that mean moving forward, all those options will be removed from the games, or they just will never be put into the games moving forward? EVO, we just talked about it. EVO, the huge fighting game championships, right? Always known as anyone can enter. Everyone is safe, safe space. You got champions like Sonic Fox, who infamously over the years has been the best Mortal Kombat player. He always seems to win the Mortal Kombat tournaments, but he's gay and he's a furry. And he's very, very straightforward and in your face about it. It's like his thing is that he likes to wear the fursuit to the tournament and he yells out that he's gay and he's anti-Trump and stuff like that. So how's that going to go down with the Saudis? Who actually, it's illegal to do that stuff in their country. So that's the deal right now. And that's why there's such controversy all over the internet about what's going on with Saudi Arabia. And notably this morning, the news about Saudi Arabia being the primary buyer of EA. So to further extrapolate upon my point about the money, it was announced that each shareholder of EA stock, for each share that they hold, will now receive a $210 payout. So let's say you were someone who had faith in EA and you liked their stock and you had bought, 1,000 shares. You just made $21,000. So there you go. That's what it's about. Money. That's what it's always been about. All these deals, all these behind the scenes things. Because I don't understand. What if Saudi Arabia has such horrible human rights, why would anyone even buy oil from them? Well, we all do. Literally right now, you're driving a car, it probably has oil from Saudi Arabia in it. You know that, right? So if you're anti-Saudi Arabia, oh my God, I can't believe what I hear they're doing with human rights over there. Why are you driving your car with the gas in it from Saudi Arabia? And this is also what I like too, is because when we talk about situations like this, you hear these activists, and these activists always say stupid shit, right? Oh, I made a life choice. I'm not going to eat meat because it's morally wrong. Oh, by the way, I drive my car that has gas from Saudi Arabia where they're executing people. But that's okay as long as I'm not eating meat. I'm a vegan. I love that shit. I really do. Okay? So anyway, the truth is we don't know what's going to happen. Will EA actually completely change? Will EVO actually completely change? WWE, I don't think anyone really cares, to be honest. It's just that people have always seen WWE as kind of a hobby or a pop culture thing that the common man could follow. If WWE is going to start selling out to places like Saudi Arabia and now all their events are going to be over there, how would anyone ever go to a show? How would anyone afford any of it, right? I mean, we were just talking about recently, WWE, my God, it's so complicated to even watch any of their shit anymore. Every pay-per-views are on this on-demand service. TV shows are on this on-demand service. This is over here. This is over here. What the fuck is going on? Used to be just watch it on TV. Now you can't even do that anymore. I mean, hell, the best way to watch WWE, you have to get a VPN to switch regions so you can all watch it on one on-demand service. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like for me, the way I see it is, man, it's just it's rampant and it's going to keep getting worse. There's nothing you can do about it if you want to live in modern society, quite frankly. We don't make these decisions. Like, I mean, what are you going to do? Well, let's see. I don't stand for the human rights violations of Saudi Arabia, so I can't drive anything that uses gas. Well, I also don't like how the communism is in China, so I can't use any products from China. Oops, there's 90% of products you can buy in stores you can't buy anymore because it's made in China, right? So I guess what I'm going to do, I've decided I'm going to move out and I'm going to live in a cave out in the woods. I'm going to be a hermit, okay? No one bother me. I'm just going to live with the animals. Everyone just shut up and leave me alone, okay? So anyway, in a lot of ways too, I think that a lot of this is over-exaggeration. Just because Saudi Arabia now has a huge investment stake in Electronic Arts, does that necessarily mean the Saudis are going to swoop in next week to BioWare and be like, show us the progress of Mass Effect because we just want to be sure that it's in line with our morals now. Let's go. Show us the work now. And if it's not, we're going to now, you're the puppets on our strings, and we're going to be sure that this game is in line with everything that we like in Saudi Arabia. And if not, you're all fired. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to happen. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen either, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. You know, I think people tend to jump to crazy ass conclusions and weird situations, the most extreme shit you could think of. That's what comes to their mind first, right? So immediately what they're going to do is they're going to uplift all the EA-owned studios, ship them off to Saudi Arabia. So they all have to work. They're all going to work in Saudi Arabia from now on and have to live by that law, right? No, that's not going to happen, right? But at the same time, you guys are right. You know what I'm saying? You guys are right if you're freaking out and saying there may be changes. All right? But what else can we say, right? That's life. Sometimes you got to realize that you can't always be the social justice warrior. But when they said the SJW stuff from years ago was always hilarious. I'm a social justice warrior. Oh, by the way, but everything I own in my house is from China. And you don't really know what social justice is, honestly. If they, real social justice warriors, you really got to cut back on a lot of shit that you're doing if you really want to stand your ground to morals and values and shit like that. I really don't think that people should be doing this stuff. And it's funny because, well, neither do you feel. When did I say that I have morals and values where I'm not going to buy stuff from China? Like, I'm not. Do you see me on social media standing up and complaining about this shit? No. You see, like I said, in reality, is it a good thing to stand up for the rights of others? Yes, it is. I agree it is. In the way that you can, in the lifestyle that you live or whatever, if you can stand up for and help others, go for it, right? But you got to pick your battles and you got to be realistic. The truth is, if you sit on social media all day and you just whine and complain about little minute things, then the problem is you just don't have adversity in your life. And you don't realize how bad it is in other parts of the fucking world where people don't have the ability to just sit and whine on social media all day. You grew up in a generation where you lived eternally online. You never even lived in an offline society to see how life was before you literally thought you were the most special snowflake on the planet and everyone should listen to you bitch 24/7. In reality, no one cares. Maybe you think they do because that's what society has taught you with this always plugged in online mentality. But in reality, you're one of a zillion. No one cares about your little opinion. Sorry, that's just the truth. If you don't believe it or you don't, see that as reality, you probably have been brainwashed. And that's sad. But that's the truth about society is there's just so many people out there. It's very rare when you get someone who has some kind of influence or someone's going to care about what they say or do. But everyone thinks that now because they're all plugged into the internet eternally. Oh, well, I'm the one I post up every little moment of my life on TikTok and on fucking Blue Sky and on this and that. No one cares. No one. Anyway, so what will happen with EA? I don't know. We'll follow the story. It'll be very interesting to see what's going to happen. Will actually all these things under EA's umbrella change? Will anything change? Maybe it'll be an insignificant change. Maybe the Saudis just want another piece of the pie to control, right? And they just want to diversify even further. And they see this as a way that now you could say, oh, we'll get some good street cred with the world because, look, we're into the video games. Don't know. We'll have to see what happens in the long term. But I do find that these hilarious people who freak out about stuff on the internet are just, it's such comedy, right? The same person who complained last week that someone spelled their name wrong on their Starbucks cup. They couldn't stand it. Oh my God, they were off. Well, what's your name? It's not even fucking normal. It's like Shaka Duga Duga. Well, how the fuck are you supposed to spell your name, you idiot? If your name was Joe and they spelled it wrong, then I would understand. You have the most stupid name possible and you're complaining they couldn't spell it on your coffee cup and you're angry. That's what you're worried about. Anyway. All right. Anyway, I think we can now sit back and relax. We talked about the news for today. That's the only real gaming news for today. For the record, in regards to Ghost of Tsushima, okay, it's totally your prerogative if you play it or not. You just got to understand that my situation is unique to yours. Your situation is probably, do I just play the game and enjoy it for myself, right? My situation is, I have to make entertaining content out of this game that people will watch, okay? Look at what happened earlier this year with South of Midnight, okay? I knew nothing about any political discourse around the game at all. All I wanted to do was play it at face value. I did one stream of it that I enjoyed. I said, man, the game kind of feels like a throwback to like Sly Cooper, Jack and Daxter in its gameplay style, and its visuals are unique and has a great soundtrack. First stream was fun. I liked it. Everyone's yelled, why are you playing this woke game? Why are you playing this? What's your problem? We're not going to come back and support it. Change the game right now. Stop playing it. It was a nightmare. It was like I was getting yelled at literally for just booting the game like I was some kind of crazy leftist liberal, which I'm not. I'm also not a crazy right-wing conservative. I don't know why I get roped into this shit because I'm not either way. So to get yelled at and be told, oh, you're wasting our time. Why are you doing this content? We're not going to support it. And they didn't. No one supported it. It ended up being a dud of a stream. So I never played it again. You know? So for my situation is I have to play a game that people are going to show up, engage, and support with. Right? I'm not playing a game for me. Maybe I could play Ghost of Yote one day for myself if I really want to see, but I'm supposed to be making the content for the audience. If the audience doesn't want the content and won't show up for it, then I can't play it. That makes sense, right? This isn't my private stream for me. This is for you. So that's the feedback I need. If I play Ghost of Yote, are people going to show up, engage, and support this game? It's 40 hours minimum to beat the story. So this is a game that was going to take a long time. It's going to take out a lot of streams. Is it worth it? Or do we just say, screw all this? Danzak did a $5 super chat. He says, I research political discourse before I decide to buy a game. See, I don't. I just try to play a game and enjoy it. That's how I grew up. You know what I mean? Like before I played Super Mario Brothers 3, I didn't research to see what Nintendo gives money to. You see what I mean? I didn't do that. I just said, oh, look, it's a game. It looks good. I'm going to buy it and play it. And then I enjoyed it. And, I don't know, maybe ignorance is bliss or whatever. But, they talk about separating the art from the artist or whatever. And in the case of video games, I don't know why it's becoming so much more and more political. Now, to be honest, listen, in some ways, it's the game devs' faults and the game publishers' faults because they have been trying to shove political agendas down our throats, right? Did we need to have an actual plot line in Dragon Age Veilguard about the trans character being misgendered and now we all have to shame ourselves for doing it? Probably not. Perhaps that was a bad idea because what happens is cultural shifts and trends change and now culture has turned against the leftist stuff, so now no one wants it. So maybe if Veilguard came out in 2020, it would have been a bestseller game of the year. Instead, it was a 2024 massive sales flop and underperforming dunce of a game, right? So that's what I mean. In a lot of ways, it is the game developers / publishers who've been forcing this agenda down our throats to begin with, and that's what's caused the discourse to happen. If they weren't putting that into the games, then people wouldn't be looking for politics in games to begin with. But we are where we are. There's not much that we can really do about it at this point, right? Okay. 1 second, everybody. I was cleaning my PC this morning. I saw there were some smears and smudges on the side of it. And it bothers you when you have the glass side of a PC and you see these fingerprints like, oh, so I cleaned it, but I accidentally left my cleaner in front of my TV and it's bothering me. And guys, let's get some support rolling. Right now we're at like $10, okay? Please, let's get some support moving. Let's get a tip bigger than $2. Let's get a super chat bigger than 5. Let's get another sub. We only have 1 today. How about our first membership of the day? And how about some kick? I don't think we had any kicks this morning at all. How about we get some kicks over on Kick? Let's go. Let's get that momentum rolling and flowing so we can hit that goal today because we didn't hit it last night. Okay? Am I going to get the Pokemon Legends ZA DLC? I don't know if I'm going to get the DLC. I'm going to buy the base game because I want to have a game to play on my Switch too. Dude, all I got to say is this. My God. I'm just going to say this as damn straight as I can. Pokemon ZA Legends better perform well on the Switch too. And when I say perform, I mean graphically. Because Pokemon, what was it? Scarlet and Violet was a console exclusive to the Switch 1, and it ran like fucking shit. That is pathetic that they would put out a console exclusive that ran that poorly. It was a joke. Do you remember the character models would like turn into like skipping frames and low frame rate teleporting and no detail on anything? It looked like ass. Frame rate would chop up constantly in the middle of action sequences and stuff. Like, what the hell is going on? This one better run well. The start of my week is going great. I mean, you say the start. I've been here 3 days already. This is day 4 out of an 8-day work week for me. So, but it's been good. I've enjoyed the first few days of my week here. What do you think about Jimmy Kimmel's Who cancellation saga? I think he meant to say whole. Personally, censoring him because he was inconvenient to the conversation was morally wrong. America is a free country and made up of mostly poor people who value their shit posting the most out of anything. I'm not 100% on the situation. Like, I know what happened was, I guess he made a joke about either Trump supporters or something in regards to the Charlie Kirk assassination. He said something. I don't know exactly what it is he said. Apparently, people got really upset that he said it, so they took him off the air for a few days. But then I guess they had internal conversations with him, and then they put him back on the air. But I haven't heard about anything about since he's been back on the air, if what he said or anything. I just don't know. I'm not really educated on the situation, so I can't really answer that much. But I get my question is, okay. So, okay, let me put it this way. What's the word I want to say? Like, free speech, everyone has free speech. We do. In America, we do. We all have free speech, okay? However, it has to go equally both ways. It shouldn't be that one political side can say whatever the hell they want, and the other political side can't say anything because it gets censored, right? And sadly, what's happened is, in the last 15, 20 years, most mainstream media in the United States, at least, has been incredibly left-leaning liberal stuff. For example, the entire time that Trump is president, all you hear constantly in major media is, Trump's bad, he did the wrong thing, everything's bad, everything's wrong. Then when Biden became president, you either heard everything was good or nothing at all. No criticisms of him or anything like that. He's good. He's the best president ever. Huh? How could that possibly be? It should be equal on both sides, correct? It should. It should be, hey, if you're going to be critical of one political thing, then you should be critical of the other thing too. It shouldn't just be one side gets a pass and the other, you know what I mean? And I think what's happened was, this has now been going for so long that now we're getting the backlash. So, this horrendous assassination of Charlie Kirk, public, in front of so many people, it happens, right? So now it's like, can you say anything? If you say something in a certain way, are you going to get canceled for saying it? What's allowed, what's not? What's considered morally acceptable within the realms of free speech and what isn't, right? I'm not the one to make that judgment. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I look at it and it's like, well, what did he say? I don't know what he said. I can't criticize if I don't actually know what Jimmy Kimmel said. To my knowledge, I don't think that he was saying horrendous stuff. But at the same time, if he was basically taking this opportunity to say something bad at a time when everyone was like devastated at what had happened, probably not good timing. I mean, he was off at the air for 2-3 days and he was right back on. So it's not like he was fired or anything. I don't know. There's not much I can really say because I don't know the situation. It also seems like this is one of these situations where you need like back history, and I don't know how much Kimmel has said about, you know, Trump and MAGA or whatever. I don't know. I don't follow the politics shit. I don't. Like I told you guys, I don't want to be involved with this shit. For me, my content is supposed to be I escape from all that shit and we all just have a good time of games together. So I don't know if there's like a track history of this and this was the straw that broke the camel's back. I can't really answer. Think you'll reach the gold play button in 5 years? No, I'll never reach the gold play button. It's impossible. I am gaining subscribers at a rate of between 500 to 1,000 a month, and it depends on the month. If it's a month with a lot of bigger games and stuff like that, I'll have more. If it's a month that's more dead, I'll have less. But it's around 500 to 1,000 a month. So even if I have my absolute best, year ever, the most I'll get subs-wise is 1,000 a month. So 12,000 a year. Just do the math. I'll die before I hit 1 million. So I'm never going to get a gold play button. It will never happen. This channel literally cannot grow because it's too old and doesn't show up in the YouTube algorithm the way other channels do. The way that YouTube is coded is that newer channels, fresher content that follows the algorithm, that stuff gets prominent push. This channel never will. I'd say this channel has actually been suppressed. This channel has videos that used to be videos that would get tens of thousands of views a month. Now they receive 0 because they do not show up in YouTube search at all, as if they don't exist. You have to specifically search for the name of the video to get it to show up. You see? So there's nothing I can do about it. The channel will never grow. Even if, look what happened with the Kino Casino collab, right? I mean, that was 3-4 months where I was getting massively increased people coming here. Did the channel blow up in subs? No. I received a few thousand extra subs on top of what I normally would get, and then it just leveled out. That's life. I've accepted that. My channel will never hit mainstream popularity. I'll never be a huge YouTuber. It just never will happen. But at the same time, because of that, I'm actually able to be different than the guys who become big, right? I can talk about whatever I want. Today, I just had this discussion about EA getting bought out by the Saudis. I can't get dropped by any sponsors. I don't have any sponsors. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to get a call from a talent agency that says, oh, you made a big mistake today. I can't. There's no one that could possibly drop me. Someone tipped $1.25, says, you said everyone has freedom of speech. Does that apply to the trolls? Well, do you see anyone getting arrested? I mean, literally every single day, there's people who are completely misrepresenting me. Right? Taking me out of context, saying awful things about me that aren't true. Are they going to jail? Not to my knowledge, right? Yeah, I'd say it's pretty much freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? There's parts of the world, if you try to pull that shit, you go right to jail. You literally go to jail immediately. They don't put up with that shit. All right. We still have some time, guys. Whatever you guys want to talk about, tag me in the chat. And again, I'll shout out any contributions. Thanks for the early support. We're at 39. Out of the 150. Guys, let's be sure to hit the goal. Because the thing is, last night, with that Chrono stream, we actually had a really good start, and then it just died right the hell out. Right in the middle, oh, man, we want to be sure to hit the goal today. All right. Guys, let's get some subs on Kick right now. Seriously, we have 1 sub on Kick all day. Enough of that. Let's get a sub right now. Someone gift a sub over on Kick, please. And then let's get a tip and a super chat. And let's get our first membership of the day. Let's go. Let's get that momentum rolling. I want to hit $50 of support right now before the show ends. Right now. That way, we're at least a third of the way there. We definitely got to hit this goal. All right? We got to hit this goal. All right. People are demanding it, so I'll do it because people want it. All right. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. We got to get that momentum going. We've got to hit $50 by the end of the marathon. By the end of the podcast. Therefore, let us get. I didn't even get it out. I'm sorry, guys. Just gifted a sub on Kick. Thank you to I'm sorry, guys. I didn't even get to do it. Look at that. My AI has become so intelligent, so hyper intelligent and sentient, self-sentient. It was able to predict accurately when I was going to ask for a contribution and it gave the contribution before I asked. Look at that. That's amazing. All right, so thank you for the subs. So now we're up to 48. Perfect. That gets us up to 53 of support now. Thank you so very much. Very nice. So now we got momentum. Let's keep going. Let's get to 100 before the podcast ends. Let's hit it. All right. Any last minute questions or support before we jump back into Sonic? Thank you for getting me at least to a third to my goal. Let's crush that goal today and hit it. We didn't do it last night. We want to do DSP tries it in the next few days. It would be great, right? To do Indian food. So let's do it.
I got the drip going. 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 It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.